Worried about gout? Check out Ural, the effective urinary alkalinizer. Ural, neutralize your uric acid problem now.
This is KiniNews and I'm your host Prasad. Government officials in Putrajaya are spending on mineral water from the French Alps, while you, the average Malaysian, wonder if you could even afford to buy chicken. Who said politicians are out of touch? Evian, the bottled mineral water from the French Alps, is trending on Twitter in Malaysia. If you're wondering why, it's thanks to the Malaysian government. At a meeting chaired by Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob on the cost of living, on January 31st, top government officials were served the premium bottled water. This caught the attention of netizens because each 500ml bottle of Evian was more than 3.6 times the price of a bottle of spritzer. The mineral water from the French Alps, out of reach for most Malaysians, was served at a meeting where the government decided to reduce the maximum retail price of chicken by only 20 sen to 8 ringgit 90 sen and maintain the price of eggs. Gallant Centre for Health and Social Policy Chief Executive Azrul Mohammad Khalib said it was hard to take the announcement on the ceiling price for chicken seriously, with bottled water almost the same price of chicken on the table at the meeting. Meanwhile, ND Shazli Akbar, the former press secretary to Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, pointed out that the combined monthly salary of those at the meeting was over 1 million ringgit, and the result of the meeting was only to reduce the ceiling price of chicken by 20 sen. He said more effort appears to be put into making the meeting look good and by serving delicious food. Twitter user Askan questioned why taxpayers have to subsidize expensive drinking water for ministers and high-ranking civil service staff. Malaysia Kini is attempting to reach the Prime Minister's office for comments. As UMNO plans to go solo in Johor, Bersatu doesn't want to be forgotten. This is why they want to remind UMNO why they hold federal power in the first place. Ismail Sabri Yaakob has been reminded by Bersatu that he is Prime Minister only because Bersatu nominated him. Bersatu Information Chief Wan Saiful Wan Jan said Bersatu supported him despite UMNO preferring its President Ahmad Zaid Hamidi. Wan Saiful said this at a PN gathering in Muar, Johor last night, according to a report by Free Malaysia Today. Wan Saiful took aim at UMNO's court cluster of senior officials facing corruption charges, including Zaid and former Prime Minister Najib Abdul Razak. He said they were not interested in allowing Ismail Sabri to run the country successfully, but wanted power for themselves. He added that they were focused on grabbing power and bringing everyone down, including those who helped them advance. Relations between UMNO and its coalition partners, Bersatu and PAS, are becoming increasingly hostile, with numerous barbs being traded as UMNO leaders are preparing to enter GE15 without their current partners. Wan Saiful was part of the group that led Bersatu to walk out of the elected Pakatan Harapan government and install Muhyiddin Yassin as Prime Minister, instead of adhering to the promise to hand the baton over to PKR President Anwar Ibrahim. He told the crowd that Muhyiddin was the best example of a leader who looked after the people, adding that never before was a huge allocation set aside to help the people in the history of the nation. He added that Bersatu wanted Ismail Sabri to continue what his predecessor had done and to concentrate on the welfare of the people. The Johor State Assembly was dissolved on January 22nd, paving the way for fresh elections to be held within 60 days. Bersatu will tell you that Muhyiddin Yassin was an example of a true leader. Others believe Muhyiddin Yassin's legacy will end up in the dustbin of history. Opposition lawmaker Hassan Karim has criticised former Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin for his role in ousting the former Pakatan Harapan government. The Pasir Gudang MP recalled the promise made by then Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir Mohamad to hand over the top job to PKR leader Anwar Ibrahim, which was broken by the former. This led to Bersatu's exit from the Harapan coalition, which was carried out by Pago MP Muhyiddin Yassin. Muhyiddin later expelled Mahathir from the party which he founded, which made way for his rise to the top as the country's 8th Prime Minister. He also pointed out that Muhyiddin did not last long as Prime Minister, just over a year, the duration of the movement control order when the Rakyat were confined, Parliament was suspended and the emergency was declared throughout the country. Hassan remarked that Mahathir and Muhyiddin's unethical political moves and broken promises have caused the political legacies of the duo to be discarded into the dustbin of history. Hassan's statement follows bickering between PAS, UMNO and Bersatu in the run-up to the Johor state election. Frictions between PAS and UMNO have been increasingly apparent since the Melaka election last November. In the previous state elections, candidates weren't too happy with the strict SOPs on campaigning. And with the Omicron variant here, things are going to get a little bit more complicated. Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin praised the strict SOPs introduced during the Sarawak and Malacca state elections. He said it was successful because there were no spikes in the number of new cases after the polls. With the Johor state election expected to happen not too long from now, people can expect the same strict SOPs. However, things will be different due to the Omicron variant.
SOP Melaka berjaya, tidak ada spike. SOP Sarawak berjaya, tidak ada spike. SOP di Johor ni lain sikit sebab dia datang sekali dengan Omicron. So to say that there will not be a spike, I won't commit that because there will be an Omicron spike. But apa yang kita nak lihat daripada Johor ini adalah dari segi keseriusan kes, kemasukan ke hospital tidak meningkat dengan mendadak.
Despite the high number of cases brought by Omicron, Khairi urged the public not to panic. He said this is because the cases have not translated to an increase in the number of serious illnesses that require hospitalization and intensive care. The Health Ministry reported 5,720 new COVID-19 cases today. Johor has the second highest number of new cases after Selangor. Unvaccinated adults really can't do much. Most places will turn you away, but unvaccinated children will not face the same restrictions. Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin assured parents today that children will not be forced to receive COVID-19 vaccines. He said this at the launching ceremony of the National COVID-19 Immunisation Programme for Kids.
Untuk kanak-kanak, mereka tidak ada apa-apa syarat kelonggaran dan sebagainya. Ya, sebab kalau kita meletakkan syarat hanya kanak-kanak yang lengkap vaksin boleh diberi kebebasan dan kelonggaran, maka itu dilihat bukan secara sukarela lagi dah. Itu dilihat sebagai agak sedikit menggalakkan, ya, menggalakkan lebih daripada menggalakkan. Jadi kita tidak ada apa-apa syarat dikenakan kepada kanak-kanak seperti mana dewasa.
Khairi added that the government will not impose travel restrictions on children who are not vaccinated, a move which it has taken to encourage immunisation on Malaysia's adult population. He added that children are given an exemption because the government wants parents to be convinced with the process and not feel that they are forced to do it. On allegations that he is not vaccinating his own family members against COVID-19, Khairi said that he had already registered his son for vaccination. Cops don't see elements of foul play in the fire that destroyed a church in Kota Kemuning. Police say there are no signs of foul play based on initial investigations into the fire that destroyed an Assembly of God church lot in Kota Kemuning. Shah Alam District Police Chief Baharuddin Mat Taib told Malaysia Kini this when contacted. He added that while the cause of the fire has not been identified, investigations are ongoing. He said no casualties were reported, but almost 80 to 90% of the lot was destroyed. Earlier, Selangor Fire and Rescue Department Director Nur Azam Khamis said they received a call about the incident last night and dispatched 4 fire engines and 25 personnel to the scene. The incident involved the second floor of a double-storey shop lot which housed the Kota Kemuning Assembly of God Church. The fire department said when responders arrived at the scene, they found that the blaze only affected the top floor of the building, which is used as a church. Khairi Jamaluddin has decided to take legal action against his fellow party mate Luqman Adam and an Islamic preacher. Here's why. Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin is suing Luqman Nur Adam and an Islamic preacher, Muhammad Rashid Muhammad Alwi. Khairi claimed that the two defendants committed defamation through online postings, which contain several allegations linked to the government's COVID-19 vaccination efforts in Malaysia. Khairi filed the writ of summons at the Kuala Lumpur High Court on January 25th. The course papers were referring to 4 videos and a photo allegedly uploaded on Luqman's Facebook page and YouTube channel, as well as 4 postings, 3 videos and a photo purportedly uploaded on Rashid's Instagram page. Among the allegations are that the plaintiff reportedly acted recklessly or irresponsibly in the procurement of COVID-19 vaccines for the vaccination programs in Malaysia, as well as claims linked to his COVID-19 vaccination status. Khairi claimed that the online postings by Luqman and Rashid purportedly undermined the government's efforts to combat the COVID-19 endemic in the country. And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you'd like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to MalaysiaKini.com. I'm Michael. Thank you for watching.